I don't understand the sympathy that society affords to people that commit suicide. Let me put it another way. I don't understand the sympathy that society gives to adults that commit suicide, especially when the suicide is cryptic, not direct as to why that individual took their lives. When adults commit suicide, they give the impression to the youth, the children, the teenagers, that this is acceptable. And as you well know, children and teenagers have committed suicide based on bullying, etc. So I don't understand why today, with social media where the children and teenagers have access to this, can see this, I don't understand the sympathy that we give to adults that commit suicide. You have homeless individuals living on the street, subjected to the elements of the weather, constantly laying their head on the streets where people walking in public places, eating out the trash can, begging, drinking out the trash can, getting it by any means necessary. Yet, they have not committed suicide. They have the drive to continue to live. You have people born with defects, birth defects. You have people living that had accidents, severe scarring, amputation of limbs, yet they have the drive to live. You have women with no arms, born with no arms. They take care of their babies with their feet. They're able to feed them and dress them. Yet, they have the drive to live. So, what would cause a normal, healthy man or woman with a roof over their head, with incomes coming in, various cars, various homes, to commit suicide? What would cause this? The only thing that would cause a man or a woman to commit suicide under such circumstances, when there is no mental defect, when there is no real physical pain from an injury, what would cause them to do it? I'll tell you what. They feeling sorry for themselves. That's what would make them do that. They are feeling sorry for themselves. Now, I know what you're going to say. Hey, sometimes these people be in pain. Well, that's an assumption. Okay? That's an assumption. When people say, I'm in so much pain, what are you talking? Is it in your mind? Is it physical pain? Is it mental pain? What pain? Because the people that's disfigured, loss of limbs, okay? People with half of their head crushed in still have the drive to live. Are they not in pain? But yet they live on. They push on. I don't understand how a man or a woman can abandon their children through suicide and not really care as to how they would be raised or protected. I recall a singer by the name of Phyllis Hyme, I believe. She committed suicide and left a note. and say she couldn't find love. As you can see, that was not a sufficient reason to commit suicide. See, a lot of times we look for love in the wrong place. We allow other men and women to tell us what love should be, who you should be with. So at some point, Phyllis Hyman fell victim to the fake how can I put this? She fell victim to the fake advice that people gave her, telling them more than likely you need a man that's make this type of money, you need a man that's in this and it. It don't work like that, people. She is a prime example that she committed suicide because she couldn't find love. Now, we had a recent suicide by a guy named Twitch, I believe they call him, but that's his. It's not his real name, I don't believe, but I guess it may be his real name. But y'all know who I'm talking. Twitch Boss was a DJ on Ellen DeGeneres' show. Now this guy recently committed suicide. He went to a remote area, motel, left a note saying he's struggling with his past. Now that's a cryptic note. We don't know what that means. The past could have been yesterday, the day before he did it, whatever. Now, but let me ask y'all something. Is that a sufficient reason to commit suicide? No. Then I know what a lot of people are going to say. They're going to be a devil advocate. Well, he was going through pain. What type of pain? You assuming he was going through pain. See, the pain is going to either be real and physical or just mental. All right? So, what type of mental pain can a person, be going through? Because I want to know. Because if it's mental, it's in your mind, right? It's in your mind, right? So, it could be something that you did, that you torturing yourself with. But either way, it's not sufficient to commit suicide. Because I'm going to tell you like this here. When I see this man, he dancing with his wife, he talking, he giving interview. You mean to tell me that your love, the love that you profess, the love that she professed, why wasn't that love strong enough for you to come to the table and discuss this with your woman? I'm not coming down on people. I'm just talking real talk. See, I tell people, when you see relationships on TV and they so hunky-dory, you have to understand that there is a way that an African-American man will act and a European woman that's going to act with their mate, okay? So I'm going to put this away where y'all can understand this here. If you are pretending, when I see you, it's going to show because it's not a natural order of flow in your interaction with one another, all right? And see, a lot of times people can torture themselves by being in relationships where the other individual cannot understand where they're going. A lot of times that individual will try to have a conversation with somebody of a different race, and because they of a different race, it's hard, not because the race per se, it is the history of the culture and interaction that the white person never experienced, and even when they see it today, they don't show any interest in trying to understand that experience. I'm not saying that this was the case with him. I'm just saying this is the case with a lot of people. Because, see, sometimes I have had conversations with white people and we get on a particular subject and then they go to pretending that it's one way when it's not. So what I do under those circumstances, I kill the conversation and I tell them why I'm killing the conversation. Because there is no need for me to continue in a conversation where I know you BSing and I'm stating the facts. Now, for me to continue a conversation with a person, it's mental torture for me. I won't go there. So, I'm going to say it again. If a person commits suicide and you want to say you never know what they're going through, you're not supposed to know what they're going through if they don't tell you. That's not a reason to commit suicide when you got responsibility. You got children to raise. So you sending a message that this is the way out. You sending the messages to the youth that this is the way out. I don't have any sympathy when you send that type of message. All right? I don't have that type of sympathy. See, we got to be real with ourselves. Men and women must be real to solve problems. See, if you faking, you'll never solve a problem, okay? You know, and that's just the gist of the matter. You're not going to solve the problem. So, with all the entertainment going on in this particular individual life, that love wasn't strong enough to get this man to come to this woman and talk about it. See, that suicide defined his whole love for that woman and those children. And I don't care what nobody say. Because see, I can tell you like this here, people. If a man can plan his suicide and think lucid about what he's doing, and then commit that act, knowing that that is not the proper way to go, and knowing it solves no problem but create problems, that man should never be afforded any respect based on the conduct that he did. It cannot take away what he did here on earth. But I can tell you this. No real man would send that message to people that's living, to the children that's living, to the youths that's living. If you want to commit suicide, you never leave a suicide note telling people, okay? All right? You don't do that, all right? I'd rather for you to go OD on some dope, okay? Because at least you're not sending a conscious message to teenagers and kids that when you're feeling bad, when you're being bullied, when you're down and out, take your life. My name is Speak Van Holding. Good morning to all my subscribers, and thank you for subscribing. I'm not doing no apologies.